When Daniel moved his mother into our apartment after her accident, the decision was presented as temporary. She had fallen in her bathroom, injured her spine, and the doctors said the word paralysis carefully, like something that might still change. So we rearranged our lives around it. The couch disappeared to make space for a medical bed. Rails appeared in the bathroom. The living room turned into something halfway between a hospital room and a waiting area. Daniel thanked me often during those first weeks, always with a tired smile that made it hard to complain. His mother, Lydia, spent most of her time in the wheelchair by the window. She watched the courtyard in silence. Occasionally she asked questions that seemed strangely practical. "Is the apartment in both your names?" she asked one afternoon. I laughed softly, assuming it was small talk. "Why?" "Oh, just curiosity," she said. Another day she asked where we kept important documents. I answered without thinking. It seemed harmless. After all, she couldn't even stand up. That fact explained everything, until small things began to feel wrong. A drawer I was certain I'd closed appeared slightly open when I came home from work. Papers in my desk looked shifted. Once I found my bedroom door cracked open when I remembered shutting it before leaving. Daniel brushed it off. "You're imagining things," he said. "You've been stressed." He was probably right. Caring for someone at home changes the atmosphere of a place. Every sound becomes noticeable. Every routine feels fragile. Still, the feeling didn't disappear. The idea of installing cameras came to me one night while I stood in the kitchen staring at the sink. The thought felt uncomfortable immediately. Surveillance inside your own home crosses a line, especially when the person living there is dependent on you. But doubt has its own quiet pressure. I bought 2 small cameras the next day and mounted them in the living room and hallway. Not the bedroom. Not the bathroom. I told myself it was temporary, just until the strange feeling went away. For several days the recordings showed nothing. Lydia sat by the window. The television murmured softly. Hours passed without movement. Watching the footage felt almost embarrassing. Like proof that Daniel had been right, I nearly deleted everything. Then, one evening after work, I sat down with my laptop and opened the recordings again. At first it looked the same as always. The empty living room, Lydia in her wheelchair. Then, around 11 in the morning, the chair moved slightly. She adjusted her hands on the armrests and stood up, not quickly, not gracefully, but clearly. I stared at the screen as she walked slowly across the room, steadying herself against the wall. She opened the hallway closet where Daniel kept financial papers. A few minutes later, the front door opened. Daniel walked in. They spoke quietly, but the microphone caught enough. "How long do you think she'll keep paying everything?" Lydia asked. Daniel shrugged. "As long as we need." "And the apartment?" "I'm working on it," he said. "Once the transfer is done, it won't matter." I closed the laptop. The shock wasn't loud or dramatic. It felt more like something inside me settling into place, an explanation for every strange moment I'd ignored. Within the hour I packed their belongings. Clothes, medication bottles, Daniel's laptop bag, Lydia's blankets. I carried everything into the stairwell and stacked it neatly beside the wall. Then I called a locksmith. When Daniel arrived home that evening, the new lock was already installed. He knocked first, then harder. I opened the door just enough to face him. "What is this?" he demanded. Instead of answering, I turned my laptop so he could see the paused video frame. His mother standing in the living room. For a moment, he said nothing. Then he tried to push the door open. The noise brought the building manager out of his office downstairs. A few minutes later, 2 police officers arrived. I simply played the recording. The room grew quiet. One of the officers finally looked at Lydia in the wheelchair. "Ma'am," He asked carefully, "Are you medically paralyzed?" She didn't answer. That silence changed everything. Later that night, as the officers finished their report, my neighbor from across the hall approached me in the corridor. She looked shaken. "Oh my God," she said softly. "So that's why." "Why what?" I asked. "Your husband kept asking people in the building about ownership laws, about what happens if someone becomes medically dependent." She glanced toward the stairwell where their bags still waited. I thought he was just curious. After she left, I went back inside the apartment. The cameras were still running. They had shown me the truth, but only because I had crossed a boundary myself. Some truths don't arrive cleanly. They come through doors you wish you never had to open.